Hello everyone. In this video we'll be talking about lesson 2 of Tamil Nadu class 11th history book. The name of the chapter is Prehistoric India and the Harappan culture. So we'll be doing this video in two parts. In the first part we'll be talking about prehistoric India, and in the second part we'll be specifically talking about the Harappan culture. So if we talk about the Indian history, firstly we need to understand that history can be divided into two time zones. First one is before Christ and the other one is after Christ, or the Anno Domini. Before Christ is the time before Jesus Christ was born, and after Christ is the time after Jesus Christ, or the day when Jesus Christ was born, and henceforth. So the history of human settlements in India goes back to prehistoric times. We need to know one thing, that there are no written records available for the prehistoric period. However, plenty of archaeological remains are found in different parts of India to reconstruct the history of this period, which includes stone tools, pottery, artifacts and metal implements used by prehistoric people. इसका मतलब क्या हुआ कि जो हिस्ट्री के बारे में हम लोग पढ़ते हैं उसके लिए वी डोंट हैव अ लॉट ऑफ हिस्टोरिकल फैक्ट्स, या फिर कोई हमारे पास सब्सटैंशियल प्रूफ्स नहीं है, बट स्टिल वी हैव फ्यू थिंग्स जैसे कि स्टोन टूल्स, पॉटरी, आर्टिफैक्ट और मेटल यूज़ किए हुए उस ज़माने के हमारे जो यूज़ है, जो यूटेंसिल्स एंड टूल्स है, उससे हम थोड़ा बहुत अंदाज़ा लगा सकते हैं कि उस समय उस ज़माने में कैसी सोसाइटी थी, कैसे लोग थे, कैसे इकोनॉमी वर्क करती थी. In India, the prehistoric period can be divided into Paleolithic age, Mesolithic age and Neolithic age. न्यूलिथिक एज के बाद एक मेटल एज भी आता है जिसको हम चैल्कोलिथिक और आयरन एज में डिवाइड कर देते हैं. पैलोलिथिक एज को ओल्ड स्टोन एज बोलते हैं, जिसमें मोस्टली स्टोन से बने हुए टूल्स को हम यूज़ करते थे. इन मीजोलिथिक एज इट इज़ द मिडिल स्टोन एज, जहाँ पे स्टोन के जो हम वेपन्स यूज़ करते थे या जो टूल्स यूज़ करते थे, they reduced in size. We'll study further about it. And in Neolithic age, it was the time when copper and bronze were very much prevalent in use. The dating of these prehistoric period is done scientifically. दो टाइप की टेक्निक्स को हम यूज़ करते हैं. द फर्स्ट वन इज कॉल्ड रेडियो कार्बन डेटिंग एंड द सेकेंड वन इज कॉल्ड डेंड्रोक्रोनोलॉजी. In radiocarbon dating, we usually see that how much amount of carbon has been reduced from that organic material over a period of time, whereas in dendrochronology we basically see a wood. उसमें हम rings count करते हैं because we know age of a tree or a wood can be determined by counting the number of rings in it. तो हमें rings से एक थोड़ा बहुत अंदाज़ा या फिर थोड़ा बहुत we can go through it and we can understand that how old that wood is. So this is the age of some of the Paleolithic sites. We need to understand that firstly the sites came up in the region where Indus is flowing. After that other areas developed. We'll study about it now. Paleolithic or Old Stone Age. The Old Stone Age sites are widely found in various parts of the Indian subcontinent. These are generally located near the water sources. जितने भी हमारे sites थे, early sites थे, they all developed around water sources. Now, why water was needed? It was needed for agriculture, which came on later on, but mostly it was needed for the survival, because without water, without fresh water, survival would not have been possible. Many several rock shelters and caves of the Paleolithic people are scattered across the subcontinent. They also lived rarely in huts made of leaves. Now, one thing which we need to note over here is that they were huts, but these huts were made of leaves. They were not made of baked bricks. I'll tell you why this is important, but in the later part of the video. Now, some of the famous sites of Old Stone Age in India are, these are some important sites. There are many other sites, but as we are studying Tamil Nadu book, so we'll keep ourselves restricted to these few. The Son Valley and Potwar Plateau in the northwestern India, the Shivalik Hills in the northern India, Bhim Betka in Madhya Pradesh, Adamgarh Hills in Narmada Valley, Kurnool in Andhra Pradesh and Atirampakkam in Chennai. In Old Stone Age, food was obtained by hunting animals and gathering edible plants and tubers. That is, people of that time were hunter and gatherers. What they usually did was they hunted animals, they fed on them, and some of the time when animals were not available to them, they were gathering foods which sometimes turned out to be poisonous, but most of the times they discovered that those foods were edible and were good and easy source of nutrition. They use stone tools. As you can see, two stone tools. These kind of stone tools have been used in the Paleolithic age. They use stone tools, hand sized and flaked off. So basically, these stone tools can be prepared by two processes. One is by flaking and another is by stone on stone pressure. फ्लेकिंग में क्या होता है, एक तरीके से हम स्टोन को छीलते हैं और उसको शार्प बनाते हैं. And in stone on stone method, one stone, a heavier stone, is taken and beaten to a smaller stone in such a excuse me, in such a way that it becomes sharp and can be used to cut meats and for sewing also. The hunting of large animals would have required the combined effort of a group of people with large stone axes. We have little knowledge about their language and communication. The way of life became modified with the passage of time since they made attempts to domesticate animal, make crude pots, and grow some plants. A few old Stone Age paintings have also been found in the rocks of Bhimbetka and other places, and most of these paintings were about hunting, about animals, or the kind of things which they did in this social life. Mesolithic or Middle Stone Age. Mesolithic or Middle Stone is somewhat similar to the Paleolithic age. Yes, the processes, the society, the culture, everything was almost same, but one major difference which came was the size of the tools. Now microliths were in use. What were microliths? Microliths were tiny stone artifacts, often not more than 5 centimeter in size, and therefore they were called microliths. Micro means chota, and lith or the lithos means stone. The hunting gathering pattern of life continued during this period. However, there seems to have been a shift from big animal hunting to small animal hunting and fishing. The use of bow and arrow began during this period. Now keep this in mind because UPSC often asks questions which specifically will confuse you. For an example, they can ask you that was bow and arrow used in the Paleolithic time or in the Mesolithic time or in the Neolithic time. So we should be clear with our concepts. Also, there began a tendency to settle for longer periods in an area, that is, settlements started to grow up, which further intensified and villages came up. Domestication of animal, horticulture, and primitive cultivation started. Some of the animals whose bones have been found over there was dog, deer, boar, and ostrich. You will be baffled and you will be amused to listen that ostrich were once present in India. Ostrich eggshells have been found in Patna, which is in Maharashtra. Isn't that interesting? Animal bones are found in these sites, and these include, okay, we have already read this. Burials of the dead along with stone microliths and shells seems to have been practiced. So the practice during the burial time or during the funeral also involved using microliths and shells. They were also kept with the body in the burial. So it means that they believed in reincarnation or the life after death. Some of the important sites were Lalganj in Gujarat, Adamgarh in Madhya Pradesh, and also some places of Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, and Bihar. Neolithic age. Neolithic age, okay, one thing which we need to understand is that Paleolithic age is the age before 10,000 BC. Mesolithic age is from 6,000, is around from 10,000 to 6,000 BC. And the Neolithic age is 6,000 BC to 4,000 BC. Neolithic means new. Neolithic remains are found in various parts of India, which include Kashmir Valley, Chirand in Bihar, Belen Valley in Uttar Pradesh, and in several places of the Deccan. Some of the important sites are Maski, Brahmagiri, Halur, and Kodekal in Karnataka, Payampalli in Tamil Nadu, Utnur in Andhra Pradesh. The chief characteristics feature of the Neolithic culture are the practice of agriculture, domestication of animals, polishing of the stone tools, and manufacture of pottery. In fact, the cultivation of plants and domestication of animals led to the emergence of village communities based on sedentary life. There was a great improvement in technology of making tools and other equipment used by mans. So we read that earlier the size of tools were quite large, then came microlith, but now these tools were polished. Polished make it much more, the friction in the tools reduced by some extent, so it was much more easier for them to cut meat or to dig the hole. The polished axes were found to be more effective tool for hunting and cutting trees. Now the huts, which we've previously talked, that in the Paleolithic age huts were made up of leaves, but the mud bricks houses were built instead of grass huts. Wheels were used to make pottery, जो कि हमारे common day practice में भी use होता है. And large urns were used as coffins for the burials of the dead. There was also improvement in agriculture. Wheat, barley, rice, millets were cultivated in different areas at different point of time. Rice cultivation was extensively in eastern India. Now also eastern India excels in production of rice. Clothes were made of cotton and wool. So keep in mind that cotton and wool was now used in the Neolithic time. Now we'll come to Metal Age. Let's do one thing. The Metal Age and Harappan civilization we'll do in the another part of the video. I hope you like this lecture, and if you like it, please do like, subscribe and share this video, and comment down below what are the things which you want me to include in the video. Thank you very much.